Hello everyone, thank you for joining God's Prepared Warrior channel. I am Fernando, God's Prepared Warrior, and I am so glad that you guys are here. I see all of you here on three places. Over to my right is TikTok, and they're running strong over here, and everyone is giving me a heart and all that over here on TikTok. You guys on YouTube, thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. You guys have been chatting away over here. Man, that's awesome. All right. Thank you for the 5x5, Salt Miss. I appreciate that. Forgive me if I missay your name. Iram. Thank you for the 5x5. Awesome. Good. You guys might hear my cat in the background. She's in the room over there by herself. Mom is out visiting the kids, and so you're probably going to hear her because she wants to come out and fight with my basset hound. So yeah, we're not having none of that tonight. So guys, thank you for joining the live tonight. I'm so glad you're here. Guys, all you on Facebook over here, Miss Karen, thank you for joining the live. I'm glad you're here. Wow, I feel like it's been a long time since I've seen you guys. I mean, last week, you know what? I decided to take a media vacation, right? Because work, the job where I work at gives me 2 weeks they give me a week in November, and they give me 2 weeks off in December. And so we're very appreciative of those days off at our work. And so last week, it being Christmas, I said, I'm just going to take a break. And I really took a break. I mean, I didn't post anything on TikTok. I didn't post much on, as far as video content, on YouTube. I did maybe add a few pictures of me and my wife for Christmas and things like that. I think I did 1 or 2 videos over the holidays. So just so that you know I'm alive. But I did take a week off last week because I think I just needed a break. And so Aaron, okay, I got you. Forgive me. And so I really took a week off, and so we're back. And there goes my basset hound because he's in his kennel and he wants to go play with the cat. I don't know. Go figure. But anyway, Bullet, lay down. Okay, hopefully he'll lay down. It's because Mom's not here, and she's the one that usually takes care of them, and they like her more than they like me because I don't play around. I just bark commands to them, and they listen. Anyway, enough about my dogs and cats. Well, one cat. So I want to start. I was sharing with the TikTok crew over here earlier that I have kind of organized I guess you want to call a script for my live now. And so I actually have a flow, if you want to call it that, right? For lack of a better word. So tonight, and I don't have any kind of like introductory music or anything to go with God's Prepared Warrior News, but anyway, you can make that picture in your mind how that would sound. So I shared with you guys that I was going to be working on some videos for comms, and I am doing that. I'm almost done with my comms video, my first comms video featuring my handheld radios. I usually always show you whenever I'm talking about comms and making your comms plan for you and your family. I always pull the radio out and show you that I have them. So I've been working on a video talking all about the comms that I have, And so hopefully by the end of the week, I will have that video completed and into y'all's hands, because it's not just about my radios. It's all about the 2 radios that I have, what they're for, right? Each one of them has a purpose. Each one of them does a job for me, right? And so, and each one of them have a different level of mastery that you have to do. So, guys, I truly, you guys over here in TikTok and you guys on Facebook, if you guys aren't following me here on YouTube, this is where all my content is at. So I really want to keep you guys informed with all of that content. So follow me on YouTube at God's Prepared Warrior. Just search God's Prepared Warrior. You're going to see my logo. You see if you're on TikTok, you see my logo at the very end of all of my TikToks. It comes out right there at the end. So you'll see my logo there in YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, because that's where all of my content lies. TikTok and Facebook are kind of like a carrier that brings everyone to YouTube. So that's where we are. So let's look at God's Prepared Warrior News and talking about Khan's plan. So that video is done. So I am excited, guys. You just don't even know how excited I am, because over the holiday, I bought myself a gift. I've never done that before. Everybody's always bought me a gift. But this time, I bought me a gift. And it is this right here. This small, compact bag. It's small. You're like, Fernando, your hand covers that. Yeah, it's really small. But this little small package carries my brand new radio. I'm so excited, guys. If you haven't gone to my TikTok page, so I threw a piece of candy out for all of you on TikTok, right? Because all my TikTok fans, they're like, hey, you know what? You're always throwing up all that scary stuff. You know, the world's going to end stuff with that scary music. And then all of a sudden, here comes Fernando just doing random videos here lately. I've been doing some random videos over there because people have been asking, Fernando, what do you look like? And so, I started doing random videos over there on TikTok. So if you guys on YouTube, if you want to go see that content, you're going to have to find Fernando Charles 1 over on TikTok. That's the handle over there. So eventually I'm going to fix all of that. It's going to be a mess, but I'm going to fix all of that. But anyway, so I really didn't plan on showing you the radio, but I think it would be mean of me if I didn't show you my radio, because you're probably like, Fred, I don't believe you. There's a radio in there. So I am going to show it to you. I'm not going to give you too many specs about it, but I will show it to you because I think that's just the right thing to do. Okay. So this is my handheld for it. This is my mic, my handheld mic for my radio. Okay. It's pretty small. But here's my radio. This is what I'm so excited about. This is my radio. Look how small it is compared to my hand. That's my hand. That's my radio. That's my radio in my hand. See if I can get it centered there. Right? So that's my radio. This is how small it is. This is a 25 watt GMRS radio, and it is a Readiness RA25. That is the model number to this radio. And it is in this bag because I am building a man pack for my radio, because I want this radio to not be a stationary radio in my ham shack or in my vehicle. I want this thing to go mobile with me. Because if you follow my content on YouTube, TikTok guys, you will also know that I go camping. And so I want to take this and I want to take this out with me and communicate when I'm camping. So this radio is what I'm excited about. And so I'm part of a GMRS net here in San Antonio where I live. And it is every Tuesday night at 7. And so I did a video on TikTok, and it was communication from that net. And it was me outside in my vehicle because I have to plug it to my vehicle. But I'm going to fix that soon. I'm going to walk y'all all through that process. But anyway, and so it's on TikTok. So you guys on Facebook and you guys on YouTube, if you want to check that out, make sure that you go to TikTok and check that video out. It's a really short video. It's somebody communicating, but it's me holding my phone and taking video. And there's also on my Facebook God's Prepared Warrior page is also pictures of me setting all of that up for that net. So guys, take advantage of going to my YouTube channel, because in my YouTube channel and all of my videos for you guys over at TikTok are all of my links. So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Rumble. I'm in Rumble. Rumble's like a really small thing for me because Rumble's not really that big. And so there are people who they say no to YouTube and they say yes to Rumble. So that's why I have a Rumble account. So all the content that I post in YouTube also gets posted in Rumble. So make sure you check out all the links. You guys can also support our channel. And those links are there in all of my videos too. You can buy me a coffee through there. It's called Buy Me a Coffee. But if you want to buy me a coffee, you can do that. I love coffee. So check out all of my links because we are getting bigger. So as of today, we got a notation award from YouTube saying congratulations, you hit 500 subscribers on YouTube. And so I'm excited about that. I really want to see my YouTube page grow. So I need all of y'all's help to do that. So share, like, subscribe to the channel, twist a friend's arm to subscribe, whatever you guys want to do. Because I want to help grow. I want to grow this community, and I don't want it just to be online. I actually want it to be not even just here where I live, but all over the United States. And so I really think we can build a team that way. So that's a future venture, but I'm talking about it now because I'm bringing it into existence. Amen. So we hit 500 subscribers, and you might say, well, Fernando, that's like chump change. But to me, it's a milestone because I started at 0, right? And so we're continuing to grow. Thanks, Salt Mist, for the congrats. So God's doing a great thing with the channel, and so I got that video. I'm working on that video with the 2 handhelds that I have, and I'm also working on a video for this new radio so that you guys can see it, because I want my channel to be able to not just show you what I have, but show you how to use it, right? I'm part of another group, and I actually get to show people how to use radio, how to get their license and things like that. And I want to do that here on my channel too as well. And so it's not really hard at all, and it's really low cost when you go the route that I did. And even this radio, now I got it on Black Friday, and so I got it even cheaper. So I'm going to show you in that video how I did all that. So stay tuned for that video. That's going to be a little while because we're still in the holidays, and it takes a lot to pull out the big old antenna and get it all set up and situated, and then record content with people on the other end. So I made friends with the new group, that the GMRS net that I'm a part of, and so they don't know yet, but they're gonna help me do that video. So I'm excited about it. That's the new thing. Now this weekend I went to the gun show here in San Antonio, And I went with my son-in-law, and we had a good time at the gun show. Somebody at work asked me. They said, "Fernando, did you speak at the gun show?" I said, "No, I went to the gun show." And they're like, "Oh, well, your picture looked like you were gonna be at the gun show, and like maybe you were gonna talk." No, it even said in there, "Come find me. I'm walking around." No, one day I hope to have a booth, a God's Prepared Warrior booth. That would be so awesome to have at the gun show. Maybe they do give me a time to be able to talk about prepping and things like that at the gun show. That would be so cool. Maybe somebody else invites me to their prepping thing and say, "Hey, Fernando, come speak at our prepping event," and I'll do that too. Those are the things that I like to talk. If you don't know, I really like to talk. I'm a preacher, so yeah, I like to talk. Sometimes my wife will have to tell me, "Calm down, yeah, stop already." So yeah. So anyway, I went to the gun show. I met a few people. I'm a few vendors, and I got some names from their stuff. There was, oh my goodness, tons and tons of guns in this whole place. They don't allow you to take video camera, and I get it. They're private sellers, and they didn't sign any kind of photo op paperwork or video paperwork, so they won't allow you to do that. I took my phone out, wanted to take pictures, and I wanted to do kind of selfies, with me and my son-in-law at the gun show, but they wouldn't let us. This was the second time we've been. The first time we got shut down real quick. So maybe if I'm invited to speak or whatever, maybe they'll allow me to take footage, right? If not, I don't know. We'll have to, next time, we'll see. We'll see what we can do. But I did pick something up at the gun show, and I always look for deals, and I'm also thinking ahead of future videos that I want to do and stuff, and so I picked up this canteen set. Now this is a old canteen set. It's actually a U.S. made, so it's not that old, right? This is not like a World War II era canteen set. But it comes with the plastic canteen, the green plastic canteen. I got that. And it comes with the canteen cup. And you can see that it's used. And it's, boiled its day of water. Or food or whatever. And so I got this canteen at the gun show for $5. Now, why am I telling you this? Because I want you to learn, just like I have learned, that you can prep on a budget by going to the gun show, by going to Goodwill, and finding all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to be doing a video on my first aid kit, storage kit, and so it is two plastic containers that we bought at Goodwill, and I'm utilizing these two containers for my first aid kit, and it's super awesome. And so I'm gonna do a video on that so that you guys can see that soon. So I got an alert on my phone. So yes, be looking out for that that video coming out soon on the canteen set. And I'm building a new thing for that. So I won't tell you too much on that. But that's the other thing that I got at the gun show. Yeah, and so utilize those opportunities, guys, to go to those places to find deals and bargains if you're prepping, because you can find a whole lot of things there. All right. So, last thing for God's Prepared Warrior News. What time is it? Man, we're already going to be 30 minutes in. My wife and I had a date night yesterday, and we went to watch the movie Homestead, starring Don Olveri. Yeah, Don Olveri, Neil Metcado, and Bailey Chase. So I don't know if you are on Facebook, but it's being publicized a lot on Facebook. We went to go see it because I really like the Neil character, Neil. And so anyway, the actor. And it was a really good movie. Yeah. Boy, do I get in trouble. So, I'm going to tell you this story. We get there. You don't ever want to take me to the movies. You can ask my kids. You can ask my wife. They're going to tell you don't go with Fernando in the movie because Fernando talks the whole movie. And I do. It's not because, I'm trying to make everybody have a bad time at the movies. It's just because of some things, right? If we go watch a scary movie and they're upstairs and there's a noise downstairs, I don't know if you ever noticed, but nobody ever turns lights on. And so they start creeping down the stairs, something scary down there. And I'm like, turn the lights on, right? Come on. So, yeah, you don't want to ever go to the movies with me. But anyway, we're watching the movie and there's a lot of dialogue in the movie. And so, or like commentary in the movie. And so, I'm like, yeah, that's right. Amen to that. And so my wife's like, be quiet. It was too funny. And then there was some points that I'm like, you know what? That's what I've been saying. And so anyway, I'm not going to give you out any spoiler alerts because a lot of people haven't seen the movie yet. But I would encourage you to go because, it's a Christian movie. And actually it's not really too Christian-y, only towards the end. But, it was a really good movie. And it brought to mind a video that I would like to do on the topic. So we will do that in the future, but that'll give people a chance to go out and see the movie. So go out and see the movie. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. There are some things that I would have, because I was saying it, maybe why didn't they think about doing this? Or, why didn't they prep this? And so, that's just me. I'm like that. So yeah, go watch the movie. It was a really good movie. It's called Homestead, and go check it out. I think you're gonna really like it. It was really good. I ate the whole thing of popcorn, so yeah, it was that good. So go see that. All right, that was God's Prayer Warrior News. Now we're moving into our news that has been happening in the world. We all know that Jimmy Carter has passed. He was the 37th president of the United States of America. He came on in 1976. I was born in 73, so when I was born in 76, he took office, and so he was the president then. His funeral services are going to be in Plains, Georgia. It's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. And then they're going to go to Washington, D.C. Now, within that time span, this will be a 6-day span between the three cities. And then there's going to be a few stops in between that were significant. And then they're going to end up in Washington, D.C., where he will be there for a while. And so, Jimmy Carter was a good guy. He was a Democrat, but he did do some good things. There were some things that people are like, but yeah, he was a good man overall. I mean, he was a good Christian man, and so yeah, it's pretty sad to see him go. He started Habitat for Humanity and did that work. And that work still continues on even after, right? And so, Jimmy Carter was a good man. And so, yeah, that happened on Sunday, and he died at the age of 100 years old. I don't know if you guys know, only if you're in Texas, I guess, or you follow Texas news, but in Conroe, Texas, a tornado touched down there, and hundreds of structures were damaged. It was up to 10 people that were that were injured in this storm, and this hit on Saturday. And at a Montgomery County judge issued a disaster declaration. The tornado was an EF3, so I mean anything here in Texas, any kind of wind really tears stuff up around here. And then the wind was recorded between 135 and 165 miles per hour, and so it did a lot of damage. Tornadoes were really never heard of, in the part where I live, right? I live in the south central part of Texas, and earthquakes, tornadoes, snow, things like that don't happen. But here recently, they've been happening here in Texas, and they've been pretty close. And so, guys, we got to be prepared for these kinds of things. We got to be prepared for these kinds of event. I do not take it for granted anymore. Whenever there's a storm coming, I'm always encouraging my kids, hey, the storm is coming. Prepare for the storm. Take your raincoat, take your umbrella. Get ready, right? Do those things, right? Those are the most minimum thing that you can do, right? Do those things. Fernando, on the other hand, he's following the meteorologist. He's listening. He's doing all of that homework. And kids these days, I guess I'm just an old guy, but kids these days they don't watch the news. They don't they don't get their news from anything. They walk outside. Oh snap! It's raining. I didn't know it was gonna rain. So I try to at least be there in their life to say, hey, it's gonna rain tomorrow. Wear your rain jacket. Take your umbrella. So I'm always prepared when it comes to things like that, because check this out. I was following this storm, because the weather guy that I follow, he's not a local news anchor. He's actually on YouTube, and he's in Texas, and he does it out of his home, and he's really good at what he does. And so, if anything, I can say he's at least 99.9% accurate on his weather. And so I've been following him for a while, and so anyway, he was sharing on that time about the thunderstorms that were going to actually come across the middle of the United States and actually touch into the northeastern part of Texas. And so Conroe is not too far from Houston, and so this storm came through, and it really took on the east end of Texas. And so this tornado whipped up. And so, here in Texas, when the rains come in, we just know, because it's been embedded in our brain, it's going to rain. And there's so many cycles of rain. It could be drizzly in one part of town and not the other, right? It could pour in one part of town and not the other. I mean, depending on where you live. I live in a big city, so it happens that way. Scattered showers is what they say. So, so I know all of that. But since I've been, I don't want to say studying weather, following a weather guy, right? I've been learning, because he doesn't just give you the weather, he actually teaches you about it. And so, I wrote some stuff down because I wanted to know this, because whenever there's a thunderstorm, I don't want to just say, oh, it's going to rain, I'm going to grab my jacket, I'm going to grab this. I want to be prepared, right? Because you just never know. So what causes tornadoes in a thunderstorm? Well, there are three things. Atmospheric instability, right? This is when warm air, when warm air is low to the ground, right? Warm air is low to the ground, and the cool air, right, is above it, and usually it creates this unstable environment, right? The other thing is wind shear, right? Oh man, we have lots of wind here in Texas, And so wind shear is another factor. And then the other factor is that a trigger mechanism has to be involved for a tornado to happen, right? And so um, the mechanism here in Texas is usually a cold front or something that's coming with it. And so all of this unstableness, right? Everything's unstable. And so when all of these things come together, it just has that perfect spin with the wind, and it creates these tornadoes, and that's what happened. And so, whenever I hear thunderstorms, I don't take them lightly anymore, because we've had a tornado here in San Antonio at one time. And yeah, I just don't take it for granted anymore. So neither should you. So I would encourage you guys to study up on those kinds of things. So that leads to our prep talk. What time is it? 9:30. Okay, good. I got 30 minutes. It leads to our prep talk because this is the prep channel, right? This is the prep channel. I am God's prepared warrior, not just physically, but spiritually too, right? So I want to talk about preparing for the upcoming polar vortex. So I sent out a text today to my kids and my family, and I said, just so that you know, because I know you don't, there's a polar vortex that's coming next week, and it might get cold, and it might get freezing. So it just depends. There's a saying that we say in Texas: wait 5 minutes, and the weather will change. Right? So that's just the way it is. So I want to talk about preparing for the upcoming polar vortex here in Texas. And, with this in hand, we're approaching the new year, right? Tomorrow's the last day of 2024. And we are already moving into 2025. That's just crazy, I think, This year has gone by so fast. And, I can't even fathom the idea that we go through the year so quickly. But anyway, we're coming to the end of the year, and it's so important for us to anticipate this polar vortex, because here in Texas, it's cold in the morning during the in fall, right? It's cold in the morning and it's hot in the afternoon. We have this cold, hot temperature that happens here. And that's where we are currently, right? But right now it's kind of like cool at night and cool in the morning and then hot in the afternoon. That's just the way it's been. But in 2021, Texas really got slammed with this polar vortex that came down, and it froze the state shut. So there are a few things. The people in the north were laughing at us, and I get it. You see all these people, they can't handle the cold. That's what they were saying. They can't handle the cold. But they don't understand that we don't ever have cold. I mean, we have winter time, but it usually happens January, February, around my birthday in February, just saying. But even at that, it's not even that. I'm still wearing shorts, right? My wife will tell me, "Babe, you're not cold," and no, I'm not cold. I have many layers, trust me. It's important for us to understand that when we hear that the polar vortex is coming down, and it can bring cold temperatures. Forecasters will predict, that this is starting on Thursday, right? It's starting on Thursday, and the cold plunge will affect regions, in the Rocky Mountains, all that, all the way to the East Coast with temperatures, potentially reaching, 20 degrees below the norm. People up north are used to that. Praise the Lord for that. To us Texans, we're not. We don't even know how to drive on that kind of stuff, right? So whenever we get cold and it freezes, we're usually closed those 1 or 2 days that the roads are frozen, because I'm gonna be honest, Texas people don't know how to drive on that kind of stuff unless you live in Lubbock and all that up there. Yeah, because they always get snow, and I used to live in Wolford, so I know. We're not used to that. We're not used to driving on that. We're not used to living in that. And so when that came in 2021, it really shut Texas down. I mean, ERCOT, that's the people that do our energy. They couldn't even keep up with that. And so people were out of, electricity for days, right? And so they ain't nobody ready for that over here. And so, I live close to a fire department, so we're on a good grid. And so we didn't lose power. Our kids lost power, and so we had them over here at the house. But, we still had power because we're on that good grid. But a lot of people didn't have that. And, even if our power would have gone out, we wouldn't have been ready. We wouldn't have been ready. Now I'm ready. I'm ready for anything. But this is why it's so important for us to look at these things that are happening and be ready for them, right? So let's look at this. What is this polar vortex? Is just a large area of low pressure and cold air surrounding the poles. That's all that is. And during the winter, it can expand, sending cold air southward into the United States and all the way into Texas now, recently, right, since 2021. And so it can cause widespread disruptions, just like we saw here. We had to go to work, and I work in a little town outside of where I live, and all the major highways were shut down. I'm like, I ain't coming in today because I can't even drive out there. And you want me to drive to the hill country where it's even more frozen? I'm not going to make it. And so, it gets pretty bad when that happens around here. So, the potential impacts are freezing temperatures, right? Overnight lows. When you go to stores here in Texas, especially South Texas here where I live, I don't ever see a place where you can buy a parka, because you're going to need that because it's going to be freezing or below zero. We don't have that here. I think the biggest jacket that you can buy here, I mean, if you go like to Burlington Coat Factory, you probably could find big thick jackets there, but they're not parkas. I'm going to tell you, I don't think you can find a parka here. So people would have to go to Amazon, I guess. But anyway, so those are the impacts. We're going to have freezing temperatures, right? Overnight lows across Texas, where we are. It can fall below freezing, especially in the northern and central regions of Texas. And so all of you Texas family, you guys need to get ready, and you need to prepare for this polar vortex that's coming down. Other potential impacts are icy roads and bridges. Now, they throw this kind of liquid on the bridge or an overpass, and it's a salty kind of mixture. And because it's a bridge, there's usually traffic that goes under that, but the wind goes through there too, so it freezes that part of the street. And so the city has to go through there, and they got to put down that winter mix on there so that it kind of freezes. But the winter mix that we had in 2021 did not work for that freeze. And so, how do you prepare for that, right? When you've never had to do that ever before in your life, and it just hits you, right? This is how you learn, right? You learn year to year. And so yeah, so those are potential impacts. We can also see increased strain on the power, because then it's like, oh my God, it's like super cold, and so everybody's gonna they're gonna they're gonna make it hot in their house because it's cold outside, right? And a lot of houses here in Texas, not a lot of them, they don't have fireplaces. They don't. I have one. I need to get it clean though. But there's not a lot of houses that are built with fireplaces. So, people have to crank their central heating and heat their homes, and so it puts a strain on the power grid with the higher heating demands in Texas, and it's also the opposite in the summertime here because it gets so hot. People will turn down their air conditioner, to make it 60 degrees in here during the summer because it gets hot. Let me tell you, if you haven't been to Texas, it gets hot. Here where I live, it's humid all the time. So, yeah, it's bad. But anyway, so there's always a strain on the power grid, and you'll always hear in the news, you should set your thermostat at this, and people are like, heck no, I want to do it how I want to do it. I'm paying for it. And so yeah, you have that kind of potential impact. And then, you have to go outside and you have to do your preps, right? You got to cover up your faucets outside, your pipes. There's a lot of houses here where I live that are not on a cement foundation, and so they have to literally go under the house and wrap their pipes, right? So you got to do that if you have a beam type of foundation, and so you have to do those kinds of things. And I've said in a previous video that if the weather is already changing, maybe you get a small cold snap or whatever, and it's a 1-day cold snap. That should be the thing that snaps in your head. Cold snap, get it? Snaps in your head? Yeah, I'll use those kind of illustrations. It should snap here that, you know what, I need to get my house prepared for the winter that's coming. Because look, I'm going to tell you, not a lot of people have prepared from the few times that it's been cold here recently, because next week this winter vortex hits us, and is it gonna freeze? I don't know. We can't see it that far yet, right? Can't predict that far. So I'm gonna err on the side of I need to prepare my home, right? And so for us, we have a cement foundation. So all I really have to do is just run my water and cover the faucets outside, and make sure the heat that's on in here, open the bottom of your sink so none of that freezes, all that kind of good stuff. So take care of my pets, take care of my plants, things like that, that we're always told. So the time to prepare is now, because that polar vortex is coming, and we don't know how devastating or maybe not devastating it's going to be in our area, right? And so wherever you live, that y'all are watching me right now in Texas, it's time to get ready with your winter preps today, because that thing comes next week. And, I just started going back to work this week. So work is going to be in the way. Family time is going to be in the way. You need to make time to prepare your home for the winter, right? That means that if you're going to turn your heater on, you haven't turned it on yet, because I'm going to tell you, all of us here in Texas, we don't turn it on unless it's really cold. And we'll even turn off the AC and open the windows because it's nice and cool outside, right? You haven't turned on your heater, so it's important for you to get a technician out so they can come and look at your heater, because a lot of times, here in Texas, we don't use it, right? And so it collects dust and all that, and then when you turn it on, guess what? All that dust and stuff can spark a fire. And so it's better to be prepared than not be prepared. Do it early. Get a technician out. Let them check your heating system to make sure everything's okay. They'll go in there, they'll vacuum it, they'll clean it, so that it's ready, so that when it gets cold and you turn it on, everything is okay, right? You need to make sure that your carbon monoxide, um, um, what do you call them? Sensors are working. Make sure they have good batteries in them. Your fire alarms, make sure they have batteries in them. You need to have, if you're going to run your fireplace or things like that, you need to have a fire extinguisher handy just in case. That's being prepared, right? Adjusting to the new temps. Somebody moved to, okay, I see you on TikTok. Dragon Rescue, he says, I moved to OKC, adjusting the new temps. Yeah, see, you moved up north, so it's gonna be cold. Yeah, so you got to be ready for this, guys. So what are some steps? I'm gonna give you some steps, and I hope you write these down because they're important. Preparation steps for the polar vortex that's coming, right? Number one, I just said it. You got to get your home ready, right? You got to insulate your pipes. If you have a pier and beam foundation, you got to get under that house, wrap those pipes. Don't mess with that. You don't want a pipe busting, and then now you're forking out tons of money to a plumber because now they got to come in there, get under your dirty, wet house, and yeah, they're going to charge you a lot. So get that fixed. I mean, go in there, insulate your pipes, get it done. Wrap those pipes with insulation or newspapers and plastic, whatever. Wrap those suckers and allow your faucets to drip during the cold weather. That's important. Let them drip and stuff. Your heating equipment, you need to make sure that you have safe energy heating equipment and that you have the ample fuels. A lot of people here in Texas, who live out in the country, they have propane, big, huge propane tanks that run all of their heating and cooking stuff in the homes. Make sure that you have plenty of that. Make sure that everything's in working order because winter's coming, right? Never use generators or grills indoors. I don't know why we got to say that, but it emits exhaust. You can choke and die on that stuff. Keep that stuff outside. If you need to buy extension cords, because that should, I think, be like 20 feet from your house, go do it. Go do it now because people are going to get all of that here pretty soon. So do that. Don't keep your generators in your house, please. Keep those outside. Stock supplies, right? Make sure you have enough food. You're going to hear this from a prepper all the time. Make sure you have enough food. Make sure you have a stockpile of that in case the lights go out. Make sure you have other ways. If you don't have a generator and now you gotta heat your house. I'm not talking to you, Siri. If you gotta heat your house now, I would encourage you to bring a tent inside your house. You and your family get inside that tent because that's gonna hold heat, right? And that way it'll keep you warm. Things like that. There are other ways that you can heat yourself, right? You don't have flashlights. I don't know why you wouldn't, or have batteries, or have charged, or ways to charge in the event that your lights go out. Make you a candle out of a mop string and a hanger and a mason jar and some cooking oil. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to my YouTube channel because I did a video on how to make that. And keep that in your house. Mine is right up here behind the TV, ready to go with a lighter. And in case the lights go out and we're in the dark, I at least have a cooking oil lantern that we can use around here in the house. I always keep camping equipment because I go camping. Watch my videos on YouTube, and I have alternative ways to cook food. I have a camping stove. I have several of them. I have an alcohol stove to boil the water, make my coffee. I did a video on that recently. Was it last year when the lights went out for the day, and I needed to make my coffee before I go to work because I need coffee. And so, I pulled out my alcohol stove and I made me a cup of coffee. And I videotaped it, and I said, this is what you do when the lights go out and you still got to go to work. and you need your coffee. That's what I said. And so check out that video. Have those things, right? Have that water, have that food, stock up on your medication. That's so important. Make sure you at least have several days supply, right? Because like here in Texas, I can't remember in 2021 when we had that, I think it was like maybe a week and a half that we were out. I mean, the state was frozen, right? So, at least have that, right? Don't have nothing, and then this vortex comes and now everything's out and you have nothing. Don't do that, because we all know that here in Texas, nobody preps, and right before the storm hits, the day of, and maybe a day and a half behind, people are going to ransack HEB and leave it bald with nothing in it because there's a storm coming. It can just be a rainstorm. It could just, be a warning. It can be a full-fledged thunderstorm with tornadoes, and people will flock to HEB and they'll buy it out. I've seen it. I've done videos on it. And so be ready, right? If it's a Saturday and there's a storm coming on Wednesday or Thursday, go that day and get ready, right? I mean, it's that simple. Don't wait till the last minute. There's too many people waiting till the last minute, and you ain't going to get nothing. So make sure that you're stocked up on food, water, medication. Include items like flashlights and batteries and blankets and things like that. You need all of those things. You need an emergency kit. You need a first aid kit. You need all of those things. Make sure you get them. Make sure you prep those things. If you're going to be in your vehicle needs to be prepped, right? It needs to be winterized, right? You need to check your antifreeze levels. You need to ensure your tires are properly inflated, because from summer to winter, they deflate. And so you need to make sure that you're not running on low tires. You got to make sure that they are right. So make sure that you make sure that your tires are inflated to the right level, and always keep gas in the tank. When you get to half, go fill it up. When you get to half, go fill it up. Man, this is what I practice, and I've been, babe, you got to do this. When you get to half, go fill it up, right? And so she's been doing really good. I've been proud of her. I would rather be safe than sorry. I would rather have it than not have it, right? 2 is better than 1. I'm just saying. Don't hate me. I'm just a prepper trying to help you prep. All right. So yeah, make sure that you never go below half tank, that you're always full. You always want to have a full tank of gas, right? What that helps you with, it helps prevent the fuel line from freezing up. Did you know, and I didn't even know this, I just started following this guy that he truck camps in Alaska. And all these places up north where it gets really cold, there is a thing called a motor heater. I never knew this existed because I don't live up north, right? There is a heater for the motor. Who would have thought? So that your fuel line, your water lines, they don't freeze. I live in Texas. That's all I'm going to say. So it prevents, having a full tank prevents the fuel line from freezing up. You need an emergency kit in your car, because if you're in your car and you get stuck, you've seen those videos on TikTok. You've seen the videos, on YouTube and all that, where all of these people that are traveling, they're stuck because now there's a 20 car piled up, and now they're stuck, and it's full of snow everywhere. You're not turning around and going back because everybody else behind you has crashed into you. Now you're stuck there. What do you have in your car that's going to keep you warm? Your car is not going to keep you warm, especially if you crashed and it shut off and it won't start. You need things in your car. You're going to need an ice scraper. You're going to need jumper cables. You're going to need you're going to need blankets. You definitely need to keep a couple of blankets in your car. You need to keep non-perishable snacks in your car. You need to keep water in your car, because if you get stuck, you at least have these things in your vehicle. It's great to have them at home, but if you don't have them in your vehicle, then you're stuck like Chuck again. So you need an ice scraper, you need jumper cables, you need blankets, you need non-perishable food and snacks. And I would, and this is me because I carry it in my go bag and it goes with me wherever I go. I can make food with my alcohol stove, with my Esbet stove, whatever stove I have in my bag. I think I have my alcohol stove this time. And I'm able to boil water. I'm able to make a thing of ramen, all those things. Yeah, I can do all that. I can also use my alcohol burner to boil water to maybe your car handle is frozen and you pour that warm water and it unfreezes it. Yeah. That's why I'm telling you this. Be ready. All right, we're almost done. Personal safety, right? In the wintertime, there's a way to dress. My wife gets after me because I'll wear shorts. I live in Texas. It's hot all the time. There's those times that it gets kind of cold, and maybe I'll wear longer shorts and a jacket. My wife still gets mad at me. Dress appropriately. Wear layers, hats, gloves, and waterproof boots when going outside. Limit your exposure to the cold to prevent hypothermia and frostbite. We live in Texas, but 2021, we froze. So it can happen, right? Stay informed, right? This is part of personal safety. Monitor local weather reports and heed any advisories or warnings from authorities, because they're in authority, right? At least you hope they are. So, guys, I just wanted to share all of this information with you tonight, and to let you know that the polar vortex, if in Texas, I know all of you northern states are ready and prepared, but all of you guys that live with me here in Texas, we need to be ready. That thing comes this next week. I don't know how cold it's going to get, but it's going to get pretty cold. So, guys, I just wanted you to know that, because if we take these steps, right, we can mitigate the risks associated with the upcoming polar vortex that's coming our way, right? Remember, preparation is key. This is important. Preparation is key to ensure safety and well-being of not just you, but your loved ones during the extreme weather event that is coming. So I'm gonna leave you with this last bit, because we talked about physical preparation. Now I want to talk to you about spiritual preparation, and I just want to share this verse with you today. It's really quick. It's located in Psalms 56, verse 3, and it says, "When I am afraid, I will trust you." When I am afraid, I will trust you. Guys, even in a polar vortex warning that is pending, right? Coming our way, we should not fear. We should always trust in the Lord, because He is our provider. He is the one who will sustain us through the tempest, right? He has given us hands to prepare, and we can prepare our home, we can prepare our vehicle, we can prepare ourselves for the cold that is coming. But it is truly God who will save us through the storm. So, guys, I just want to thank all of you guys over here on TikTok. Thank you for joining and hanging with me tonight. Thank you for all the hearts and all the shares. Let's continue to share God's Prepared Warrior information out. Go to my YouTube channel. This is where you're going to find all of my links. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Facebook channel, God's Prepared Warrior, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on X, right? And share all of that information with your friends and your family. And we want to create this community of preparedness, physical preparation and spiritual preparation. And, you can be prepared with all the things, right? But it isn't these things that's going to save you. They're just a tool, right? But it's ultimately God who is going to be the one who saves us. And so, guys, that's what this channel is all about. Is we don't just want to prepare physically, but we also want to prepare spiritually and mentally. And so I want to help you guys through that process. So, guys, let's grow this community. We've gotten the gold star from the YouTube guys, and they said, congratulations, you surpassed 500 subscribers. Let's keep going. Let's keep sharing the channel. Join the community on all platforms, because I don't want this to just be here where I'm at. It's not about me. This God's Prepared Warrior thing is not about me. God is the one that said, Fernando, I want you to do this thing. But it's not just me, it's all of you. I can't do it without you guys. It's something that God doesn't just want here where I am at. He wants it all over the place. And so wherever you are, God wants to have a God's Prepared Warrior team there where you are. So, guys, if you want to do that where you live, you want to join this team, let me know. I would like to walk you through that. You want to send me an email? You can email me at godspreparedwarrior@gmail.com. Simple. godspreparedwarrior@gmail.com. Send me that. Say, Fernando, I'm part of the team. How can I help? I need moderators on YouTube. I need moderators over here on TikTok. And so, guys, you email me that. I'll set us up a Zoom meeting, and I'll coach you guys through that process. And you'll be part of the team, and we can help grow this thing. So I would really, truly love to have you guys do that. So reach out to me, godspreparedwarrior@gmail.com, or just send me a message here on the socials. And I read all of y'all's stuff, and I always respond. And so, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. It's always a pleasure to work with you guys and to see you guys here joining the channel. Thank you guys for being with me. And look out for the content I put out this week. I'm going to be doing my handheld radio video by the end of the week. Hopefully by Sunday, I will have the new GMRS radio video done. Hopefully I'll have that done, and I can share that out this weekend. So look for that. If not, it'll be next week. But guys, tomorrow is our last day in 2024. And I can't wait to meet with you in 2025. It's going to be so cool, right? So let's do this thing together. Guys, thank you for joining the channel tonight. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. God bless. God's Prepared Warrior out. See y'all later.